Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This is episode 3 and I'm very excited for this video because I get to be vulnerable. I'm able to just be free and share my experience when it comes to plastic surgery and the reality of possibly being botched. So where do I even begin? This goes all the way back. I want to say it was 2015. I was 14 or 15, around that age, when I decided to approach my mom about what was going on. So, to better explain, I will insert a photo here of what my breasts started looking like at, this age. And I was concerned. I didn't know if it was normal. I would hear from a lot of people, they would say that women have one breast bigger than the other, but not this much of a difference. Like, this was like if you're looking at a cutie and like an orange, and it was horrible. So at 14, 15, I decided to talk to my mom and tell her, like, hey, I think I need to bring this up to a doctor. So she books an appointment so I could see my doctor, and we see her, and I tell her, like, look, like, my breasts look like this. I don't know if it's normal, but I feel depressed. I have low self-esteem. I can't wear tops that show my breasts because I'm embarrassed. Like, it was terrible. I was embarrassed. So, she actually tells me that she was going to put in a request to see a surgeon who can possibly help me. She didn't know if it was something that Medical was going to cover, but she would put in the request, the referral, and she did. So we waited out and we received the referral, and we are able to go see the first surgeon. So we go and we see him, and he tells me that he can help me, and he tells me, so just so you kind of know, my right breast is the larger one, and the left one was very small. So he says, on the larger breast, we're going to remove the nipple and do a lift and take out some tissue to make it smaller. Okay, I was 15. I was like, all right, whatever, dude. Just get me looking right. On the left boob, since it's so small, we need to put something in there that is called a tissue expander, which I'll also post a picture. And the tissue expander is meant to stretch out your muscle, so when you're ready for the implant, it just goes in your pocket. And this tissue expander, it has like this little, I don't know, like a drain, and it comes out from the side, where every time you go and see the doctor, if he needs to inject saline to keep stretching out your pocket, that's where he inserts it from. This tissue expander is only meant to be in your breast for about a month or two, or I think even less. So the surgery gets approved, and I don't remember the exact month or year that I did the surgery, but it gets approved, and I'm excited. I'm 15, and I'm thinking, like, yeah, my boobs are gonna look good. Like, I've been dying for this. Like, I was so insecure, so I was ready for this. We do the surgery. I was able to go home the same day. Recovery was great. As the days go by, and they tell me you can start removing the surgical tape in the shower. On the left boob, he went under under the breast, so that was like easy. I took it off. It was perfectly fine. I take off the tape from my right breast, and it's around the nipple, of course. I was horrified. I was horrified with what I was seeing, because it didn't look normal. Like, it didn't look right. So that's when I started to worry, because I was like, why does it look like this? Like, it shouldn't look like this. So I removed the surgical tape, and I'm hoping for the best, hoping that this is not going to look like this. Here's a picture of what it looked like. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. So I see the doctor. He says it's healing. He says it's healing. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So as time passes by, it heals, but it doesn't get any better. Like, it stays looking like that. Like, it just didn't look like a nipple. Didn't look like a circle. You saw the picture, you know? It didn't look like a circle. I was just traumatized. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I started to heal, and this breast was still looking huge, and this one was still looking small. So I was young, and I was just like, you know what? I didn't even think about it, about being on top of it. Like, okay, I need to take this out. I was just like, time started passing, and I still had this tissue expander inside. Years started passing me by, and I still had this tissue expander in my breast. This breast was like huge, nipple was ruined. This one was small and tight, but it had the tissue expander inside, and I can feel the what do you call it? I can feel the tube that, you know, was on the side. So years start passing me by, and I was back to square one. Self-esteem was bad. I didn't feel beautiful. I didn't feel like a woman. I didn't feel great about my body. I was embarrassed as time started passing by, and I was in relationships. I was always shy to show my breast. I was always I would never take off my shirt. I was just like, no. Very, very shy, very insecure, for sure. Insecure, because it was bad. So years literally started passing by, and I was having some issues. Like, I couldn't sleep. It did hurt. There was a lot of discomfort if I would sleep a certain way, or I couldn't sleep on my side, or I couldn't sleep like on my stomach, because it bothered me. When I would hike, I would feel pressure. Like, it, again, tissue expander is supposed to come out it's supposed to come out a month or two into it, not long term, and years started passing by. So this was when I was 15, and now I'm 28. I didn't think of going back to him. I was just like, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna live with this forever. I don't know. I wasn't thinking. So the way that I was able to fix it was because my cousin Chelsea and I were coming back to LA from Vegas, and I believe she was driving and I was riding passenger, and I just felt a sharp pain on my left breast where I have the tissue expander, like a crazy pain, like it wasn't going away. And I was like, oh shit, like it almost felt like it ruptured. But I don't know, it was just, pain was horrible. So we get back to LA, and she says, well, if you want to go to the ER, like, let's go, you know, because it looks like you're in a lot of pain. So we go together, and we're there. They take x-rays, and they say, look, like, we can't really help you. You need to see your surgeon. You can't really see much in the x-ray, but we can give you pain meds. So that's what they do. They give me pain meds, and they send me home. Couple days later, I call the surgeon, because I remember who he is and where he's located. So I call, and I try to talk to him about my situation. And I think he, right off the bat, he was just like, your Medi-Cal is not active, or issues with my Medi-Cal, which wasn't true, because my Medi-Cal has always been active. But he just started being weird. Like, he couldn't take me in. through Medi-Cal. Like it had to be like I had to pay for the consultation, which it was never like that to begin with. So I make an appointment with my doctor, and I'm able to see her, and I tell her, like, I guess I need a referral to see him because he won't see me unless I have a referral or I pay cash for a consultation. She puts in a referral to see him, but I choose not to go with him anymore because John was like, babe, why are you gonna go back to him if he fucked you up in the first place and it's been all these years? Like, why don't you go see someone new? But the doctor actually referred me to Dr. Hirsch, who did the second surgery. So I get the referral in the mail, and I call them and I make an appointment. I say, okay, cool, like I want to see him. Make an appointment, and I'm able to see Dr. Hirsch. Okay, I'm here. I'm just waiting for the doctor now.
This would be a deflator.
That's what I have. That's what it looks like. That's what it looked like when they did it. Let me see. It's happening. It's happening in May.
So we can go a place like that with
Big old tatas.
big old tatas on the beach.
It's happening. Oh my God! Thank the Lord. It's happening around May. It has a name for it. It's a big insecurity of mine, but I'm happy that we're gonna take care of it. What is it called?
Tuberous.
Tuberous?
Tuberous.
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 So it's called tuberous breast. And there's many out there who have it.
So, to be continued.
Well, thank you for coming with me. I really needed you to be here because I feel like you know me the most, the best. So I book another appointment with my doctor, and she says, well, do you want to see someone else? She said, why don't you do this? Why don't you find a doctor, and when you have the doctor that you want to see, you tell me and we'll put in the request. But I wanted to see Dr. Hirsch. I wanted him to do the surgery because, like I said, he specializes in the reconstruction. And for me, my main concern was the way that my nipple looked. So she puts in another referral to get approved so I can see Dr. Hirsch again. So I see him. So I leave and I don't hear from them. So I start calling, and this is when I got the new girl. And she says, hey, like, you know, she's gone. You know, the office is a mess. So I'm taking over. I need some time to look at your file. I'll call you back. So she does call me back. She calls me back. She said that I needed to see the doctor again, Dr. Hirsch. And a couple weeks later, she calls and tells me that my surgery got approved and I needed to come in so they can book a surgery date. Let me tell you, I was relieved because if Medi-Cal didn't cover it, I was preparing myself for having to pay out of pocket because I needed to get this fixed. Like, this was just, it was going to happen with Medi-Cal or without. So thank God that the new girl who works at the office, she was able to make it happen. So when I come in for my appointment before my surgery date, I see her and she says, hey, like, I'm the one who pushed for your surgery to get approved. And I was just like, I love you. I was so thankful. And I was just, I was like a blessing with these people because I was starting to get nervous. Like, okay, this is not going to happen. We end up booking for April of 2023. And I was very excited. I'll post a picture of what they look like or where the cuts look like, but he basically had to go around the nipple and down, so like an anchor, And this one where the tissue expander was, he just cut right where the first surgeon cut, and they removed it. And I was, you know, I was like, okay, whatever, I trust him. So I was nervous. Yeah, so I know what it's like before you go to the OR, and I was like, fuck. My sister dropped me off, and she walked with me. She was with me up until the OR area.
Love you, sister.
OP3, last name Owen Quinata.
Surgery went great. They put you to sleep, you know, like just knock out. I love the feeling of, see, this is why I'm for surgeries. Like I in the future do want a BBL. And I'm okay with it because I'm not too scared of going under. You know, they just, you're there and then they say, okay, you're going to sleep, and then you wake up and you're done. So I'm not too scared of that. But I think for me, it was more like my first experience was pretty bad. And just thinking like, fuck, they're gonna cut right the same in the same area, like, is this gonna work out? Just like the outcome, that was more of my fear. Well, I'm able to go home the same day, and thank God for my family and Nat Nat, my niece, because she was so helpful throughout the whole thing. She's so funny. She'd always come in, she'd fluff my pillows, and she'd ask me if I wanted to eat, if I wanted a snack or drink. She was very helpful. And so was my mom. Very blessed to have family around that was able to help. Okay, so the first surgery, I didn't have drains. This time I had drains. Out of the entire procedure, like, the worst thing for me was having the drains in, because it was sticking out of here and it was sticking out of here. So it felt very different. It's very uncomfortable, and my fear was like, fuck, I'm gonna pull this shit, like, you know, when I sleep, or just, I was afraid to pull them because, you know, I'll post a picture here of what the drains look like. And so I was just scared of that. So what happened with the fucking drains, because I was afraid that I was going to pull them, I tucked them in, because I was only able to sleep, like, you know, almost like sitting down. And I tucked the drains like in my pants. Was it my pants? No, I think it was the bra. I don't even know how the fuck it got all the way up here. I'll post a picture of what happened. So I ended up getting blisters because the drains are like rubber, and I remember tucking it in. You know, you have your surgical bra, and I had my surgical bra, and then I had a band, so I tucked it under the band. Like, it was like this white big band, almost like I don't want to say a waist shaper, but something like that. And I tucked it under, and the next day I had fucking blisters. Like, the bubbles were huge. I don't think I have a picture of when the bubbles were big, but I never did it again. You know, I had to fucking leave them on the side, which were very annoying. And the blisters pop, right? And they were huge. So yeah, like I said, I'll post a picture. The blisters were pretty big. So when they popped, the entire top like came off, so it was like just skin, like it was open. It was pretty bad. It was open. I fall asleep the next day. The next day, the blanket is like, the skin is growing back, and it decided to kind of like grow. I mean, it was like glued to the fucking blanket, the skin to the new skin to the blanket, so I had to fucking rip it off again. It was a hot mess. It was pretty bad. And it was so uncomfortable because it was all the way up here, and you know, your surgical bra is up here. So it was just bad. That was the first thing that happened, that I got blisters. So never again. I never put it there, never put it anywhere. I just kept them on the side. I actually wasn't taking my pain meds too often because I didn't need to. And I was starting to feel a little bit better. So one day, I believe I was out with my mom and I started to smell this weird smell, and I thought it was like people around me, like a woman or something, because it smelled like period, like bad, like if you know, you know. It was bad. It was like a foul ass smell, and I was like, what the fuck? Like these ladies like smell like this. Like I don't know. I was blaming it on other people because I wasn't on my period, so I was like, it couldn't be me. And when I'm on my period, it doesn't smell like that. Um, but I was very concerned. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it stinks. It was foul as fuck. So I get in the car and I tell my mom, like, I started to think it was me. So I told my mom, like, I ask her, I say, do I smell weird? Like, do I smell weird? Like, what the fuck? Like, the smell is following me around. Like, I can't get it like out of my nose. And she says, no, you don't smell. And I was like, are you sure? And she's like sniffing me and she's like, no, you don't smell. And I was like, okay, that's so weird. So whatever, we go home. She says, I don't smell. But when I get home, I can still fucking smell it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it has to be me because I still smell it. So I stand in front of the mirror and I start taking off um, the thing. What is it called? It's just a band. It's like a big band, and it's like this like super thick on top of my surgical bra. So I start taking it off and I start unraveling it because it was like, you know, pretty big. And then I start seeing blood, like, and I'm like, oh fuck. As I continue to unravel it, I fucking smell I fucking smell it, and it ended up being my fucking cut. Um I had an infection. So I call my mom to my room and I tell her like, hey, like I think my wound is open because look at this, like it's bleeding. So we immediately rushed over to the ER. Yeah, they're bad.
Who's that?
So they start taking some of the tape off and they put new one, and they just, you know, they send me home. They say, call your doctor. It was late as fuck. The next day, I call the office and they tell me like, well, send me some pictures. So I send them pictures. They said, okay, it's not too much of a concern. Like, take off the tape in the shower. And I'm like, fuck. And mind you, I have not seen my nipple. I don't know what it looks like. But the feeling of like, fuck, I had to take out the fucking tape myself. It was a little scary. And I go in the shower and she says, just wash it with soap and just keep doing that. So I go in the shower and I take off the tape, and I was so happy with the results. My nipple looked like a nipple. It was small. Um, you know, I was concerned because the incision kept gushing out. I'm not too sure why, but it just kept doing it. So nipple was great. My left breast, it was fine. It was just my right boob that he went like what was it, like the anchor. They did the anchor. Time goes by and it healed. It stopped gushing, and like I said, the nipple looked beautiful. I was so happy with the work, and it's time to see the doctor to remove the fucking drains. So I was afraid of that. I was so scared of the drains coming out because if you know, the drains are here and they gotta, you know, take them out. And I was really scared. I was like, fuck, like the day's here. I have to go. Like, I was telling my mom that I was afraid. I was really, really genuinely afraid of that. So we go to the doctor, and Valerie is the nurse. As she actually said that the doctor is a little rough when it comes to removing the drains out. So she's like, you know, I'm gonna help you or whatever. And I was telling her like, I'm scared, like I'm nervous, and whatever. She's like, let me see. So So she starts talking to me, and I'm like looking away because I was like, girl, I'm not ready for this. I'm not mentally prepared for this. She's like, they're out. And I was like, what the fuck? I did not feel that shit at all. But it was so long. It's so disgusting. So she took it out. It didn't even hurt. So she does the other side, and it was very easy. It was not even scary. Like, honestly, it wasn't scary at all. That's why I say I'm for BBL, because I already know what to expect. Yes, it's a different procedure, but you do have drains when you get a BBL. And, I just, having gone through it kind of prepares me for something like that. So we leave. Everything's looking good. I'm feeling good. And I heal properly. I have no issues after that. I am so happy with the result. My boobs look they look very good. They're small. I was okay with that. I was okay with not having implants, and they look great. This is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my experience. Drop any comments or questions you may have, and see you on the next one.